Welcome to Teach Me Tuesday. I'm so excited to share with you new products, ideas, and techniques to inspire your creativity every Tuesday. In today's video, I will feature the Ranger Texture Paste along with the Tim Holtz Layered Stencils. Texture Paste is ideal for adding dimension to your projects with either the Tim Holtz texture tools or with stencils and a palette knife. My favorite part of using this texture paste is you can customize the paste color by adding in a variety of mediums such as the distress paints, stains, and my favorite one for bright, vibrant colors is the reinkers. The paste can also be put on as is without coloring it and then coloring it when dry with either distressed ink stains or sprays. An important note is to make sure you keep the jar closed at all times when you're not using the paste so it does not dry out. So let's take a look at some of the projects and I'll show you how easy this product is to work with. Here are the 4 stencils that I will be using. This is Doily, Gothic, Wood Grain, and Christmas. And there are also tons more of the Tim Holtz layered stencils on stampingscrapping.com. For the first few samples, I want to show you one of each that I used, and all I did was apply the paste as it is with a palette knife. So this is the Holiday Christmas stencil. And then using the wood grain, this is the wood grain. The doily, and then the Gothic, which is my favorite because I love flourishes and fleur-de-lis. Let me show you how easy it is to use. I'm going to use the Gothic stencil on just a plain piece of paper. Now, I'm just using a smaller piece, but if I were doing a full size, I would tape this down onto my craft mat. But since I'm doing a smaller one, I'm just going to hold it with my fingers and my thumb. So this is the paste. It's a white, really creamy texture. And I'm going to use my palette knife, and I'm just going to start out by just taking the back side and smoothing it along and over the stencil. And when you have the whole entire stencil covered, take any extra and place it back in the jar and make sure to cover your jar. And when you pull this up, you will see the texture that's been created by the paste. When you're working with these, we can color them. So I'm going to color one that's already dried, and make sure that you dry off or clean off your stencils with either a baby wipe or wash them in the sink with soap and water, and also the stencil before it dries. It's much easier to get off. So this is one that's already been dried, and this one I want to color using the distress stains. And you simply just take the stain, which has the little dauber top, and just wipe over, and you can see how beautifully the texture paste takes on color. Very simple. I'll use a different color just so you can see a different one on the same project. And this is Peel Paint. The last one was Dusty Concord. So it accepts ink beautifully. You can do the same thing with the distress paints. Or you can even take the ink blending foam and any of the Tim Holtz Distress inks and simply ink up and go around in circular motion and also color. So you have so many different possibilities and options in coloring over this texture paste. So now let me show you what happens when you take texture paste and re-inker. So I'm going to place a little bit of texture paste right on my Sukaniko Imagine Craft mat. And I'm going to take Barn Door Distress Reinker. I'm going to just place a couple drops here. I like vibrant colors, so I'm using 2. And then just mix it up. When you have it mixed up, then you can take a stencil like the Christmas stencil on a piece of paper. Move this just a little bit so you can see a little bit closer. And again, using the same backside of the palette knife, you're going to add this colored texture paste. Wipe off any excess. Of course, this time you can't put it back in the container. Now we can take this and now take your stencil, simply pick it up, and you have your words in color. And here is a sample that's already dried. So this is what it looks like already dried. And that's one of my favorite ways to use the new texture paste. So let me clean this up very quickly so I can show you one of my favorite projects that I just did using the doily and the texture paste. So I wanted a way to store my Fun Stamper journey pads, and I found this unfinished wood shelf. I took the doily, and all I did was I laid this on top and I spread out the paste and I let it dry, and then I took my distress ink in spun sugar here, my little mini tool, and I just ran in circular motions around the whole thing, and that way I got this beautiful design onto my shelf. So as you can see, the possibilities of using the paste and stencils are endless. Happy creating! Thanks for watching. All of these items that are found in this video can be found on stampingscrapping.com.